Thank you for your interest in Senate Bill 287. The purpose of this webinar is to inform interested parties about the bill. My name is Holly Raffle. I am an associate professor at Ohio University's Voinovich School of Leadership and Public Affairs. I served on the Ohio Society for Public Health Education Board from 2013 to 2015 as treasurer. Additionally, I started my career teaching high school health in the Logan-Hocking School District in Hocking County, Ohio.
And I am Kevin Lorson from Wright State University. I'm a professor in health and physical education. I am the OAHPERD Advocacy Chair, and I am also the current immediate past president of OAHPERD.
Senate Bill 287 requires Ohio State Board of Education to adopt health education standards for grades kindergarten through 12. Any school in Ohio is free to use or not use the standards for the purpose of teaching health education. The content of the bill was brought forth by Senator Vernon Sykes, who is also the bill's primary sponsor. Senator Sykes also sponsored a similar bill 5 years ago that ultimately did not pass out of the committee process. Senator Sykes is a Democrat who represents the Akron area. He is also currently the ranking minority member or highest ranking Democrat on the Senate Education Committee. Several senators have also joined on to support the bill as co-sponsors, including Senator Lehner, the chairwoman or highest-ranking Republican of the Senate Education Committee. Senator Yuko, the Senate Minority Leader, and Senator Tavares, the Assistant Senate Minority Leader, have also signed on in support. The bill was introduced on March 29th and referred to the Senate Education Committee on April 11th. It has not yet been formally scheduled for a hearing in that committee. The chairperson of the committee is Senator Lehner, who has also signed on as a co-sponsor of the bill. So why is Senate Bill 287 needed in Ohio? Current law requires schools to include health education in their curriculum and prescribes certain required topics that must be included in local curriculum, such as the nutritive values of foods, the harmful effects of drugs and alcohol, venereal disease education, assault and dating violence prevention, prescription opioid abuse prevention, and the process of making an anatomical gift, such as organ donation. Current law also requires a half unit of health for graduation. 1/2 unit equals 60 hours of instruction. However, current law also prohibits the state board from adopting or revising health education standards or curriculum unless the standards, curriculum, or changes are approved by both houses of the General Assembly through concurrent resolution. No other academic content area in Ohio is subject to this concurrent resolution requirement. Because of this barrier to adoption, Ohio currently does not have health education standards and is the only state in the United States without such standards. So why do we need health education standards? Standards identify expectations for student learning. Many have asked why this is so important. Schools need guidance and tools to develop local curriculum. We did a survey of Ohio's health educators and found that over 60% of Ohio's teachers either have an outdated or didn't know where to find their curriculum. The goal of this bill is to transition from a fact-filled knowledge-based curriculum to a skills-based curriculum. Additionally, Ohio's teachers are indicating that they lack professional development specifically within their content area of health education. And as a result, many schools are not meeting the required content standards as set out in the Ohio Revised Code. Senate Bill 287 seeks to meet the needs of Ohio's health educators by providing standards to serve as guidance for what students should learn in health education. The bill splits general health education and venereal disease or sexual education into two separate categories. It applies the current law requirements, including the concurrent resolution piece, to venereal disease specifically rather than health education as a whole. Therefore, a concurrent resolution would only be necessary for adoption or changes to sexual education at the state level. The bill also permits schools to develop their own standards and curriculum for venereal disease education, so long as the instruction meets current law requirements, including an emphasis on abstinence. Therefore, venereal disease education is left to the discretion of the local school boards. Further, venereal disease was the term utilized in the 1990s when the bill requiring the concurrent resolution became law. At this point, a language change is beyond the scope of this bill. With regard to general health education, the bill removes the concurrent resolution requirement for health education and requires the state board to develop and adopt health education standards for grades kindergarten through 12. The state board must base its methodology for developing and adopting these standards on the methodology used for other academic content areas. The state board must provide the adopted standards and any revisions to all public schools in the state. Any school or district is free to use or not use the standards. That decision is left to the local school boards. Why will Senate Bill 287 support health education in Ohio? Though the bill requires the adoption of statewide health education standards, the bill does not require or prescribe any curriculum for health education, nor does it require schools to use the statewide standards. To provide a frame of reference, the left side of the slide shows Ohio's current content requirements, and the right side of the slide shows the National Health Education Standards. While the bill does not require Ohio to adopt National Health Education Standards, it is helpful to see how standards are different from content. Standards only clarify what students will know and be able to do. Content are the specific topics or areas what students will learn about. This bill clearly maintains the content requirements that are pre-existing. The value of this bill is that it provides standards or a framework for teaching health education content in Ohio. As an example, the National Health Education Standards provide a framework for curriculum development and selection, instruction, and student assessment in health education. Health education standards in Ohio would help ensure that students were developing the following 4 characteristics that embody a health literate individual. Specifically, all Ohio students deserve to learn health in a manner which fosters the knowledge, skills, attitudes they need in order to approach their health as critical thinkers and problem solvers, responsible productive citizens, self-directed learners, and effective communicators.
Similar to what Holly just explained, the relationship between standards and content is one that the Ohio Department of Education has clearly outlined, that standards will tell us what students should know and be able to do. And again, content is what students will know. A good example of this is seen in English language arts in 5th grade, Indicator 1, the writing standard. That the standard specifically states that writing an opinion piece on topics or text supporting a view with reasons and or information. That's our standard. Local districts then decide the topics or text that students would either read or write about. The student would then be free to choose the point of view, and then the standards clarify that the student must state an opinion, present the organizational structure in which ideas are logically grouped, and then that the student will complete this by 5th grade. So the standards really just provide guidance, and the local control piece will then fill in the blanks in terms of what the topics are, the text, and then also how to teach and what progressions will get students to the point that they can achieve this outcome. What can you do to support Senate Bill 287? There are a couple of things that you can do. First, you can contact your senator or representative. If you're going to contact the senator, our ask is that we ask for prompt consideration of Senate Bill 287 in committee, and then also ask the senators to support the bill. In the House, you're going to ask the member whether or not, or actually you're going to ask the member if they can support the bill, and if they would be interested in being a co-sponsor of a companion bill in the House. How else can you get involved? There are a number of other means. Social media, we've come up with 3 hashtags. That would be hashtag 287, or Senate Bill 287, hashtag Health Standards for Ohio, or OH, and then hashtag Only in Ohio, representing that Ohio is the only standard, or the only state without standards. You can also feel free to call your state representative or state senator to schedule meetings. Also, you can schedule in-district meetings. Everybody's senator and representative is meeting in district, and you usually find that once a month by calling the senator or representative's office. The last step is that you can send your letter, send a letter to your representative in OAHPERD's Legislative Action Center. And I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like in the process to show that. So let me share my screen. And on this screen, you're going to see OAHPERD's main homepage. When you get to the OAHPERD homepage, you're going to click on the Advocacy tab. That will show you all of our resources that are available for advocacy efforts. If you scroll halfway down, there is our Legislative Action Center, and you'll see here where we explain the different aspects of the Legislative Action Center. Scroll down just a little bit more to where you'll see Support Senate Bill 287, Health Education Standards for Ohio. You'll click on Take Action. You just have to type in your address and your zip code, and up will pop your state senator along with the prescribed text for your letter. All you'll have to do is finish entering your name and your email, and then you can hit send electronically, or you can print out and mail this letter. And this is very helpful to us, and I can tell you that your lawmakers do get these letters, and they've asked us already, where did these letters come from? So it's very helpful if you can do this to make them aware of the importance of Senate Bill 287. Holly, I'm going to turn it over back to you.
Great, thank you, Kevin. If you have any questions or you need further resources, please feel free to reach out to Kevin or I. Our emails are on this slide. We'd be happy to support you if you have any questions or if you would like to know what to do to support health education standards. Thank you very much for your interest in Senate Bill 287, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future and look forward to your advocacy efforts. Thank you.